الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه وأزواجه ومن والاه وسلم تسليما كثيرا إلى يوم نلقاه. نحن كالعادة لا نزيد على 50 الآن، 30 من الرجال تقريبا ولا أدري كم من النساء، وهكذا حالة الدرس الإسلامي في المسلمين. يحضر 50 وعندما تأتي ساعات الطعام يحضر 500، وعندما تأتي التراويح يحضر 304، وهذا من جهل الإسلام. رمضان الآن طعام وإفطار فقط.
بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على آله وصحبه ومن والاه. أما بعد. So the Shaykh said, like, it's been the norm of our lessons is that we have around 50 or so brothers, and I'm not sure exactly how many of the sisters, but like he's been saying before, that, you know, when iftar comes we have 300, 400, and then when tarawih comes we have the same amount, and this is our state. And this is our the reason for this is our ignorance of our deen. This is a clear and complete ignorance.
لو كنا نعلم ما في العلم وأنه شرط في العمل لما تسابقنا إلى التراويح. أما الطعام فإنما هي شهوات فقط.
He says, if we would know what the benefit and the station of knowledge, then we wouldn't race towards tarawih, meaning that we would place everything in its proper place. He says, as for food, meaning iftar, that's just our lowly desires.
شهوات وظلمات بعضها فوق بعض. ظلمات بعضها فوق بعض ظلمات في ظلمات لا تنتهي تلك الظلمات.
He says, and this shahawat, this desire is just darkness upon darkness upon darkness, which with no end.
لا تنتهي.
With no end.
لو كنا نعلم لقدمنا ما أمر الله تعالى أن يقدم.
And if we would truly know, meaning what knowledge is, he said, then we would give preference to that which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives preference to.
قدم الإله العلم فقال سبحانه جل جلاله فاعلم أنه لا إله إلا الله واستغفر لذنبك وللمؤمنين والمؤمنات. بدأ بالعلم وبعد ذلك العمل لأنه شرط فيه، وعند فقد الشرط يفقد المشروط.
He says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran how knowledge is preferred, meaning that we should give precedence to knowledge. He says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and know that فَاعْلَمُوا أَنَّهُ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهُ. He says, and know, meaning all of you know that Allah, la ilaha illallah, that there is no God except for Allah. And seek the forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for yourself and for the believers.
فبدأ بالعلم قبل العمل. بدأ الله تعالى بالعلم وبين أنه شرط في العمل، ولذلك قال واستغفر لذنبك، فالاستغفار قبل العلم لا يفيد. كذلك كل الأعمال.
So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala first begins with knowledge. He says فَاعْلَمْ. He says know that there is no God except for Allah. So he first begins with knowledge. Then after that, then he says فَاسْتَغْفِرُوا, then seek Allah's forgiveness. That's an action. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala begins first with knowledge, then action, because action without knowledge doesn't amount to anything.
وقال الإمام البخاري باب العلم قبل العمل. باب العلم قبل العمل.
So Imam Bukhari in his Sahih, he has a chapter in it which states the chapter of knowledge before action.
العلم قبل العمل. العلم قبل العمل. فكم من ناس يصلون التراويح وما صلوها إجماعا. يصلونها وما صلوها إجماعا لأن صلاتهم باطلة إجماعا. لم يوافقوا حنفيا ولا مالكيا ولا شافعيا ولا أي عالم من علماء المسلمين.
And he says, for this reason, he says how many people go and pray the Taraweeh and their prayer isn't accepted by consensus, meaning that it's not according to any madhab. It's not according to the Hanafi, the Shafi, the Maliki, the Hanbali, any madhab.
لا مذهب ولو شاذ.
He says no madhab, not even something that which is shad, which is like only a minority of people follow.
يتبعون الهوى لا علم لهم. هواهم قادهم إلى التراويح وقادهم إلى الصلاة بدون طهارة. نعم. قد يقول إنه يتطهر وما تطهر حقيقة، لا يعرف كيفية الوضوء ولا يعرف كيفية الغسل. هذا يلعب بدين الله.
So he says they're not really praying in reality because they don't know how to pray, they don't know how to make wudu, and at the end of the day they're just playing with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's religion.
هؤلاء هم أكثركم يا مسلمون، هؤلاء هم أكثركم. 99% منكم لا يعلمون الوضوء الصحيح ولا يعلمون الغسل الصحيح. ومن أراد أن يعرف ذلك فليقف ونمتحن على أي مذهب لا يعرفه.
He says that the majority of Muslims, 99% of them, we don't know how to make wudu or make ghusl. 99%. And he says, and ask anyone amongst yourselves or anyone, how do you make wudu, how do you make ghusl according to any of the madhabs? He says most people won't be able to.
أكثر من يحضر التراويح 90% منه لا يعرف كيف يتوضأ. أنا أعتقد ذلك وأعرفه.
So he says that therefore 99% of the people that go to Taraweeh, they don't know how to pray. So ask them.
لا يعرفون كيف يطبقون الوضوء. أما الغسل فرحمه الله قد مات.
He says so he said this is regarding wudu. Ask someone and they don't know about wudu. He said as for ghusl, and he says may Allah have mercy on us.
رحمه الله قد مات.
He says that ghusl is something that's died. It's like people don't know.
لا في أحد يعرفه. قال ابن الجوزي يجعلون الشخص كأنه الجنيد السالك والمحاسبي وهو حمار. هو حمار يعبد وهو يعبث ويتعب وبعد ذلك يأذن.
So he says this, meaning not knowing how to make wudu and ghusl. He says that Ibn al-Jawzi So Ibn al-Jawzi, the author that was mentioned last week, he said that almost I said Muhammad, that people
ناس الوعظ يعظون الناس ويهدونهم إلى الخير ولكن لا يبينون لهم شيء حتى يجعل الواحد كأنه الجنيد السالك أو المحاسبي أو أرباب الصوفية وهو حمار.
So you call them to the deen and but yet they don't know how to make wudu or what have you, and but they're praying and fasting as if they're Junaid, who Imam Junaid was just
يعبد كذا من ركعة ويصوم كذا من صوم ومع هذا ما فعل شيء. يعبث ويتعب.
So Junaid was known to be one of the great imams of the spiritual path, and he was a sign of piety. And he said, so they're like that in their outward, but none of that is accepted. He says they're just playing. It's like they think they're Junaid, but in reality they're donkeys.
كمثل الحمار.
Yeah, just like donkeys.
بل هو أسوأ من الحمار.
He said rather they're worse than that.
لأن الحمار ليس مخاطب وهو مخاطب.
He said and because the donkey doesn't have any.
ليس مخاطب.
They're not. They don't have any responsibility, whereas we have responsibility. He says, and the son of Adam is held responsible.
فالله تعالى ففضله بالعلم ولولا العلم لكان هو أسوأ حيوان.
He says that the human being has been ennobled by knowledge, and without it, then we're the worst of the animals.
ولذلك يقول الله تعالى عن الكافرين إنهم إلا كالأنعام بل هم أضل.
And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says about the disbelievers, He says that they're like animals, rather they're even more astray than them.
كذلك يقول عمر بن الخطاب كل آية وردت بهؤلاء فإنما تجر ليلها في عصاة المسلمين. كذلك كمثل ذلك ما كان مثلهم من المسلمين فهم كمثلهم.
So he says that Sayyidina Ibn Umar,
Umar ibn Khattab.
Yes, Sayyidina Umar ibn al-Khattab said that whenever we read these ayats of the disbelievers, that he says that the Muslims as well follow, they have the same characteristics as well you find amongst the Muslims, that of the disbelievers.
ففائدة العلم لا نطيل بها فهي معروفة جدا ومن لم يصحح فرائضه أتعب نفسه بما لا فائدة.
So he says he doesn't want to belabor the point of the benefits of knowledge. He says suffice to say that if one doesn't know their obligations, meaning like how to make wudu, how to pray, they know the basics that they need to know, then they're just going to tire themselves out in that which doesn't have any real benefit in it.
بل ما تعب فقط بل آثما كما قال الله تعالى ولا تقف ما ليس لك به علم فما تعب فقط بل أتى بحرام عظيم.
So he says that they won't just tire themselves out with not knowing anything, but rather they'll have they'll accrue sins because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says don't do something without like knowing like he says don't do what you don't know how to do.
كانت عائشة رضي الله تعالى عنها إذا ذكر لها عمل شخص عبد تقول الله تعالى يقول وقل اعملوا فسيرى الله عملكم ورسوله. من يرى عملكم هل هو صحيح أو غير صحيح؟ هل هو خالص لوجه الله تعالى أو غير خالص؟ اعملوا ولكن من؟ إليه المرجع فسيرى الله عملكم ورسوله يفتش. فلا بد أن نفتش هذه الأعمال تصحيحا شروطا وفروضا وإخلاصا وإلا فهي راجعة إلى رب العالمين سيبحث معنا يوم القيامة. نعم كانت إذا ذكر لها عمل شخص.
Right. So he says that Sayyidina Aisha used to say whenever someone's actions were mentioned, he says that she used to say radiyallahu anha that do works, do actions. He says that Allah says to do actions, but know that Allah and His Messenger will see your actions, and they will investigate your actions and see whether you were truly doing it according to the Sunnah. Do you know the fard of the prayer? Do you know the Sunnah of the prayer? Do you know all of the integrals of the prayer and all of the actions of worship?
فالأعمال راجعة إلى الله تعالى فلا بد من بحثها وتصحيحها.
So he says that do actions, but know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to see them and so correct them and rectify it.
ولا أظن مسلما يسمع هذه الآية إلا وتنبه وقل اعملوا فسيرى الله عملكم ورسوله. لا أظن مسلما يبلغ من قساوة القلب إذا سمع قول الله تعالى وقل اعملوا فسيرى الله عملكم ورسوله والمؤمنون وستردون إلى عالم الغيب والشهادة فينبئكم بما كنتم تعملون إلا وتنبه.
He says that I don't think that the Muslims really hear and they're not really understanding that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that do actions. So this is from the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says do actions, but know that Allah and His Messenger are going to see them. So
ماذا يكون مقام المسلم هنا؟ ماذا يكون حال المسلم مع عمله؟
So what is the state of the Muslims in regard to this verse?
ولا قول أو فعل أو نية إلا بموافقة السنة إجماعا فلا يقبل قول ولا فعل ولا نية إلا بموافقة ما كان عليه رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وأصحابه وإلا فلا يقبل.
He says that
إجماعا.
So he says that there's no word that's said, there's no action that is done that is not according to the sunnah of the Messenger of Allah or his companions, other than that it's rejected. So Allah doesn't accept those actions or those words.
فلا بد أن ننتبه ولا بد أن نعرف ونعلم ونعمل بعد ذلك.
So we need to take heed and and know this.
فالعلم والعمل مرتبطان فلا يصح أحدهما بدون الآخر والعلم شرط للعمل.
So he says there's a clear connection between knowledge and action, and you can't do one without the other.
فهناك شيء من تلبيس إبليس على أكثر الناس، وهم أنهم يشتغلون بعبادة ولا يصححونها، أو يشتغلون بشيء غير الأولى. هذا شيء من تلبيس إبليس. واحد يشتغل بعبادة غير مصححة، أو يشتغل بعبادة ليست هي الأولى ويترك الأولى.
So he said one of the ways in which Shaitan tricks the human being is that he encourages them, the human being, to occupy themselves in ibadah, in worship, that it's not the preferred. Meaning there's something that should be done first before that, like for example.
عبادة باطلة أو ليست مقدمة.
He says, or the action, the ibadah, the worship isn't correct. So you have actions that are either not correct, or we're preferring something which is of lesser degree to something which is of greater degree.
وذلك من تلبيس إبليس. فالكثير من الناس أكثرهم يعمل بعبادات ليست صحيحة فاقدة الشروط كما بينا، لأنها لا علم فيها. هذا هم أغلب الناس. والرقم الثاني وهم الجماعة التي تتبعهم ينشغلون بالأذكار أو بالتراويح أو بالعبادات غير الفريضة ويهملون الفرائض. والقليل من الناس من يعمل بموافقة السنة.
So he said, just like we stated before, there are those who worship, but they don't know like the conditions, the integrals of that worship, so it's not accepted. And he says, with the second one, he says, what we're referring to is someone who occupies themselves with extra prayers and adhkar, but they forget or they leave what's more important, which is the fault.
No.
And he says only a few actually do things according to the sunnah, meaning giving precedence to the fault and then building upon that the sunnah.
قل من يلتزم ما عليه رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. الأكثر هم الذين لا شيء لهم مطلقا، لا عبادة لهم مرمية إجماعا، وبعد ذلك هم الذين يقدمون غير الأهم، وقليل من يلازم الأهم، وسأبين لكم أمثلة ذلك.
So he just reiterated what he said before. The majority of people, only a few people actually do their actions according to that of the sunnah, meaning that they give precedence to that which should be given preference to, and then they act according to the sunnah, meaning fulfilling the obligations.
العلم قبل أن نبين هذه الأخطاء، العلم هو مفتاح كل شيء، مفتاح كل شيء، وقبله لا يقبل عمل مطلقا، لا بد من تصحيحه، وقبله لا يقبل عمل مطلقا. والعلم درجات، فيه أهم وفيه بعد ذلك وفيه ما هو الرقم الأخير وسأبين.
So now inshallah he's going to talk about what knowledge is. So he's been talking about how we don't have knowledge with action without knowledge. He says in fact that knowledge is the key to worship. So but knowledge has its rank. There's many ranks to it, meaning that there's certain knowledges are preferred over others. Some have a higher rank than others. So he's going to clarify that inshallah.
العلم ابتداء يجب على الإنسان أن يصحح عقيدته، وقد قلت لكم ماضيا. قال الهلالي: وقدم الأهم إن العلم جم والعمر طيف زار أو ضيف ألم، أهمه عقائد ثم فروع تصوف وآلة به الشروع. قال الهلالي: قدم الأهم من العلوم، لأن العمر قصير جدا، لا يمكنك أن تجمع العلوم كلها في عمرك مطلقا. ولو كنت النيسابوري، لو كنت الإمام النيسابوري لا يمكنك أن تجمع العلوم في عمرك، لكن قدم الأهم وبعد ذلك الذي بعده وبعد ذلك الذي بعده، هذا هو المطلوب. فالعلم بحر لا انتهاء له، يهمه عقائده، صحيح العقيدة، لأنها بدونها لا يقبل شيء، لا يقبل شيء. وبعد ذلك الفرائض كمثل الصلاة والطهارة والصوم والزكاة ومعاملة الأهل، هذه فرائض. وبعد ذلك اشتغل بالفروض، وبعد ذلك يكون صوفيا، وإن لم تفعل هذا فقد أخطأت الطريق.
So Imam Hilali, it's a bit difficult because it's a verse. So what Imam Hilali did is he organized our how one should approach seeking knowledge. So he says that, you know, he said that knowledge, so I'm just going to paraphrase it, inshallah. He said that knowledge it's vast, and no one, even if you were like Imam Naysaburi, you wouldn't be able to encompass or acquire all of it. So you should give preference to that which is more important. So he said, first begin with aqidah. Then after you've rectified your aqidah, you've clarified that. Then you move on to the fara'id, which are the obligations of, you know, the 5 pillars: how to pray, how to fast, how to pay zakat. All of the 5 pillars. He said. Then after that is what's called the mu'amalat, or
mu'amalat al-ahl,
your
الأزواج والزوجات والأولاد والوالدين. هذا فرض عين.
Right. So you have what are called your. So you have first your 5 pillars, and then after that you have what's called the mu'amalat, how you interact with people. But when you study that, you should give preference to all of your interactions with your family. What are the rights of your family? What are the rights of your parents? What are the rights of your wife and your children? How to interact with them. And he said this is your daily life. You know, this is the fiqh of which gets you through the day, essentially.
كم منا من يتزوج ولا يعرف كيف يعامل زوجته.
So he says, how many people?
ولا يعرف كيف يعامل زوجه.
He says, how many people get married and they don't know how to interact according to the Quran and the Sunnah with their wives, nor with their husband.
فكلهم ظالم ومظلوم حقيقة. كلهم ظالم ومظلوم.
He says, and all of them, meaning both the husband and the wife, are both oppressors and oppressed because of their knowledge. He says that they're both by consensus they're both oppressors and oppressed.
وكم منا من لا يعرف معاملة أولاده فهو ظالم ومظلوم.
And how many people don't know how to interact with their children, and they're both oppressors and oppressed.
وكم منا من لا يعرف معاملة والديه وهذه أشد وأطم وهو ظالم ومظلوم. And
he says, and how many people don't know how to interact with their parents, and that's something which is more important and more like أهم. It's more important.
جدا. هذا أمر ضروري جدا. فإذا عرف الإنسان ما عليه وما له وما عليه، إذا كان موفقا فليقرأ الفقه، وبعد ذلك يكون صوفيا، ولا يكون صوفيا قبل أن يكون فقيها، فهذا خطير جدا. هذا خطير. صوفي قبل أن يكون فقيها، هذا سم ناقع، هذا خطير جدا.
So he says that one needs to know what is meaning the Sharia, what is upon them to do, like what are the rights that they need to fulfill, and what are their rights. Okay, so what are the rights that they must fulfill, and what are the rights that they need to fulfill? He said that's what we should do first, and then after that, then be a Sufi, then be someone that's occupied in purifying their heart. He said, don't try to. He says, he says, stay away. Like I warn you from being a Sufi before you know the Sharia. He said because by delving into tasawwuf before you've delved into the Sharia, he said this is like a deadly poison.
سم ناقع خطير. هذا خمر خطير جدا. هذا حرام إجماعا خمر.
He says that this is a poison deadly poison, and he says it's also an intoxication. It's like a wine. He said that's in wine, like intoxication is forbidden.
يعبد كأنه من أصحاب النبي المختار وهو أسوأ من حمار.
He said they think that they're worshiping like that of the prophets and the chosen ones, but in reality they're worshiping like donkeys.
أسوأ من حمار.
He says worse than donkeys.
أسوأ من حمار. هذا هذه خديعة من الشيطان. خديعة من الشيطان. بعدما يصحح الإنسان العلم يعمل، والعمل درجات أيضا كالعلم. العلم فيه أهم، العمل فيه أهم وفيه مهم وفيه غايته. ومن قدم المهم على الأهم فقد أخطأ الطريق، ومن قدم الغاية على المهم فقد أخطأ الطريق. فلا بد من كما فعلنا بالعلم نفعل بالعمل.
So he says, just like how we showed you the ranks of knowledge, what you should first begin with, and then what comes after, and then what comes after. He says the same with knowledge, with actions. He said there's things which are more important, and then you have things which are of lesser importance, are still important, and then you have ultimate aims and objectives. But like, what are the goals of worship?
أهم العمل هو ما فرض الله تعالى المحافظة عليه، وهو رأس المال. فمن لم يحافظ على رأس المال لا يجد الربح مطلقا. ولذلك ورد في الحديث: أحب ما تقرب إلي عبدي به ما افترضته عليه، وكما قال سبحانه جل جلاله في الحديث القدسي. فمن لم يحافظ على رأس المال لا يجد ربحا قطعا.
So first, what's most important is that you preserve and you act according to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made obligatory for you to do. He says that just like how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that he says that the most beloved action that brings his slave to me. So the action that he does, it brings him to me. It's not a literal like going to Allah. This is metaphorical. He says that the action that I love the most, that brings my slave to me, is that what I've made obligatory. So this is what's called a hadith qudsi, in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks through the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
فمن تجاوز ذلك فقد قاده هواه، قد عبد هواه ما عبد ربه. من تجاوز الأول إلى الثاني فقد عبد هواه.
So if one moves past the first into the second, meaning from and he'll say in the hadith that going from the fard and skipping that and going and this preoccupying oneself with extra actions, then what they've done really is this followed their caprice, and in fact they've worshipped their desires, their caprice, and they haven't worshipped their Lord.
وذلك مثل من يؤخر الصلاة عن أوقاتها أو لا يأتي بأركانها ويحافظ على التراويح أو يحافظ على الجماعة. هذا ضال مضل لا فائدة فيما فعل.
Right. He says it's just like someone who an example will be like someone who delays the prayer past its time, but yet with tarawih and these things that they
لا تفوته الركعة الأولى في التراويح وهو مسكين ما صلى الفرض.
He says that he says they haven't they've delayed their prayer and missed their prayer, but when it comes to tarawih, they don't even miss the very first rak'ah, meaning they're the first one to pray.
ينتظر الإمام قبله. ينتظر الإمام. هذا شاهدنا. ينتظر الإمام قبله وهو لا يصلي الفرائض.
He says, and rather they even they're waiting for the imam to come, and he says this is what we've seen.
هذا شيطان.
He says this is.
هذا شيطان.
He says this is shaitan, and this is.
هذا شيطان ويعبد الشيطان.
He said this is shaitan, and he's just worshipping shaitan.
والبعض يقدم النوافل على السنن، وهذا خديعة من الشيطان أيضا. الكثير من الناس بعد أن ينتهي الإسلام من الفرائض فاللازم عليه أن يأتي بالسنن المؤكدة، فإذا تجاوزها إلى النوافل فهذا خديعة أيضا من الشيطان. أهمه فرائض هم سنن تطوعات فقهوا ذاك السنن. أهم الأعمال هي الفرائض، وبعد ذلك السنن المشهورة كما سنبينها، وبعد ذلك التطوعات النوافل، فاتبع هذا السنن وإلا فلا.
So he says that that with the prayer you have what's called the fard, and then what comes after that is what is the sunnah. So you have what the Nabi says, whenever after he would pray the fard salat, then he would pray what's called the sunnah that happened either before or after the prayer, and then outside of that sunnah you have what's called the nafila. So the nafila is any type of prayer that's not fard, meaning an obligation, nor is it sunnah, meaning that an action which the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam did that was before or after the fard action, meaning the prayer. He says that many people that they give precedence to the nafila, the extra like the tarawih, and they forget the sunnah.
فكثير من الناس أخطاء الطريقة أو الأكثر، لا أقول الكثير ولكن الأكثر، فاللازم أن نطبق الأول فالأول، يعني الأول الفرائض، والثاني هي السنن المؤكدات كمثل حضور الجماعة، فمن لا يحضر الجماعة ويأتي للتراويح خدعه الشيطان. فالجماعة يقول كثير من العلماء بأنها فرض عين، هذا داود الله، وهذا أحمد بن حنبل، وهذا أبو ثور، وهذا كثير من أئمة الشافعية يقول بأنها فرض لمن قدر عليها. والتراويح لا يقول أحد بأنها فرض، ما قال أحد من المسلمين أنها فرض. كيف نتجاوز هذا من العلماء ونمشي إلى تطوع ولا نحافظ على هذا الفرض؟
So he says that we need to put everything in its place. You put what's first and what's second is second. So meaning the fard comes first, then the sunnah comes second, and then the nafilah comes third. He says from amongst the sunnahs of the prayer is to pray in jama'ah, meaning in the congregational prayer, not meaning Friday prayer, but all of the 5 daily prayers, praying them in congregation. He says he said many of the ulama like Ahmad bin Hanbal and Abu Thawr, he said Ata bin Rabah, he said Dawud al-Dhahiri, and he said and some of the hadith scholars from amongst the Shafis consider it an obligation, a fault to pray in congregation.
الجماعة فيها 3 أقوال، هل هي فرض عين وفرض كفاية أو سنة، وكل الأقوال له أدلة قوية والأشهر السنية.
So he says there's 3 general opinions amongst the 4 madhab on what the ruling is for the congregational prayers. He said there's some that say that it's fard, it's fard ayn, it's an individual obligation. And then there are others that say it's a collective obligation, meaning if that some of the community does it, then it's fulfilled. And then some say that it's sunnah. And he says that and underneath each one of these opinions are very strong proofs.
بعد ذلك إذا أراد الإنسان أن يتطوع فالمتطوع أمير نفسه فليفعل من التطوع ما شاء.
He says then after this, meaning after fulfilling the fard and the sunnah, then you can do as many extra prayers or any type of extra acts of worship that you want.
الله تعالى أمر أن ننزل الأعمال منازلها، فلا نتجاوز عملا أهم من عمل. فالمحافظة على الفرائض هي رأس المال، والمحافظة على السنن هي المحافظة على الفرائض، لأنها من المحافظة على الفرائض، لأنك إذا لم تحافظ على السنن دائما تترك الفرائض، ومن ترك أيضا السنن ومن ترك النوافل دائما يترك السنن. فاللازم الإنسان أن يقدم ما قدمه الله تعالى ويمشي بعد ذلك إلى ما هو.
So he says, so we have to place everything in its proper place. He says that the obligations, that's our capital. Right, so we have businessmen here, we have capital, right? We can't have a business without our capital. So he says that the obligation, that's our capital. He says, but we need to have the sunnah as well. He said, because what the sunnah does is it protects the fault, the obligation. And he says, and we need to have some extra acts of worship, meaning not the sunnah, this extra acts of worship to protect the sunnah. So you have the fard, which is the capital, and then you have the sunnah that protects that, and then you have the extra prayers with the nafila, it protects that.
ولا تنسوا أنه لا بد من التصحيح ابتداء، فلا بد من العلم قبل العمل، فهذه نصيحتي لكم، فلا بد أن تعلموا. والهلال قال إنه يجب تعلم العربية قبل العقيدة.
So he says that so that's my advice to all of you is to seek knowledge, because there's no
لا بد من تصحيح العمل.
He said that because you need to correct your actions, and you can't correct your actions without knowledge. And he says that even before Aqidah, he says Hilali in the poem that he mentioned earlier, stating which knowledges we should begin with first, and then what comes after that, and what comes after that. He says, Imam Hilali says that what precedes all of that is the Arabic language.
لا بد من العربية، لا بد من العربية، وإلا فستبقون في الأمية، تبقون في الأمية.
He says that we must know the Arabic language, because if not, then you're just going to remain ignorant.
ولا أقول العربية الحاضرة، لا أقول العربية الحاضرة عند العربي والعجم، لا، العربية الفصحى.
So he says he's not talking about this contemporary type of Arabic, or this colloquial Arabic. He's referring to the classical, what's called Fusha Arabic, the Arabic that was spoken during the time of the Prophet Muhammad.
واحذروا من واحد ممن يقول إنه شيخ ولا يعلم العربية، فهذا خطير جدا. هذا لا يعلم الدين، لا يعلم الدين، ولو قال انه فقيه، ولو قال انه مفتي، ولو قال انه عالم، ما يعرف شيئا البتة. لا يعلم كتاب الله ولا سنة نبيه ولا قول الفقهاء ولا قول المحدثين ولا قول الأصوليين، ولو قال انه جلالة المفتي فلان وجلالة الدجال فلان، ما يعرف العرب. هذا زيرو.
So he says that he should stay away from these so-called scholars that say that they're mufti, they're like this grand mufti, or they're this or they're that, and they don't even know the Arabic language. He says they don't know anything. They don't know the sayings of the ulama. They don't know the hadith of Prophet ﷺ. They don't know anything. He says they don't know anything. He says that in reality they have nothing. They're zero.
من لا يعلم العربية لا يعرف العلم مطلقا. لا يعرف العلم مطلقا.
He says that whoever doesn't know the Arabic language, in reality they don't know anything.
الله سبحانه يقول قرآنا عربيا غير يوعد، حكما عربيا لقوم يعقلون، نبيا عربيا، فمن جاء البيوت من غير أبوابها لن يصل إليها.
So he says, like he said before, he said that that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that he revealed this Arabic recital, this Arabic Quran. He said this Arabic, this Arabian prophet, and this Arabic law. He said because you can't enter a house, you can only enter a house through its door.
آتوا البيوت من أبوابها كما قال تعالى، وباب الدين العربية. الله تعالى يقول وأتوا البيوت من أبوابها.
He says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says enter a house through its door, or enter houses through their doors. He says that the door of knowledge is Arabic.
والكثير ممن يدعي العربية الآن هو لا يعرف ابتداء كتابه الحمد لله رب العالمين، لا يعرف هي ما معناها، هي لها معاني كثيرة. الحمد لله. من لا يعرف beginning كيف يقولون معناها؟
So he says that some say that they know the Arabic language, but they don't even know Alhamdulillah, the beginning and the beginning of the.
فقط.
He says not even this Alhamdulillah, just Al. Like what does that mean? He says there's numerous meanings that are behind just the Al in Alhamdulillah.
الناس مشغولة بما لا فائدة به، إيقاظ الهمة، هذا إماتة الهمة. إيقاظ الهمم أو كلام المتصوفة أو كلام، هذا إماتة الهمة. هذا ليس إيقاظ الهمة، هذا إماتة الهمة. الهمم إذا أردت أن توقظها فعلمها لا توقظها قبل أن تعلمها، توقظ نائما، توقظ ميتا، الميت لا يمكن إيقاظته.
So you mentioned a title of the Ibn Ajib has a book called Iqad al-Himam, the awakening of aspirations. He said here you're preoccupy yourself with books like this, and he says really, he said that you're just wasting your time. You know, you're just wasting your time.
إيقاظ الهمم، أحيي الهمم قبل أن توقظها، أحييها بالعلم وبعد ذلك إيقظها، فهي ميتة قبل العلم، كيف توقظ ميتا؟
He says that you need to awaken your aspirations with
لا يمكن إيقاظ الميت.
with knowledge. He says, and don't put it out with seeking other than that.
العلم فيه حياة للقلوب كما تحيا البلاد إذا ما مسها المطر. ولذلك قال لقمان الحكيم: يا بني جالس العلماء وزاحمهم بركبتيك فإن الله يحيي القلوب بهم كما يحيي الأرض الميتة بوابل المطر. فقبل العلوم لا تحيا القلوب مطلقا، لكن بعدها نحتاج أن نوقظها إذا نامت.
He says that knowledge brings the hearts back to life. He says just like how rain brings back the earth to life. He said that Luqman al-Hakim said he said that his Luqman al-Hakim, the wise Luqman, said to his son, he said, "Oh my son," he says, connect yourselves with the ulama and he says that and follow them with your rukbatay, but with your like your two knees, meaning that like sit with them and study with them, and he says and be amongst them constantly. He says because he says because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala He brings the hearts back to life through them, just like how He brings the earth back to life through rain.
فلا بد أن نعرف، والله تعالى تفضل علينا بهذا الشهر المبارك تفضلا عجيبا، وجعل الفريضة فيه 70 فريضة وجعل النافلة كالفريضة، ففيه خير كثير، ولكن لا بد له من تصحيح الأعمال بشروطها وتصحيح النيات.
So he says, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala He's preferred us, He's given preference to us through this blessed month of Ramadan. He says it's a month in which the obligations that are performed, he says they're elevated to 70 degrees, meaning that if someone does reads one dhuhr, it's as if they've prayed 70. And he says, and then the sunnah is elevated to that of the obligation of the fault.
وهذا هو عيدنا، وهو الذي أنزل الله تعالى فيه كتابنا وأرسل فيه رسولنا. هذا هو العيد الحقيقي. فالأمريكان استقلوا قبل 280 سنة فقط، ولم يستقلوا حقيقة، لم يستقلوا. والمسلمون استقلوا قبل 1438 سنة، وشتان ما بين الاستقلالين. فنحن حيينا من لدن 1438 حياة دائمة باقية إلى يوم القيامة، وهؤلاء تقدموا في الدنيا من لدن 280 سنة فقط.
So he said that this month is our Eid, it's our holiday. He said like what the Americans have in their so-called holidays is not a holiday. He says in their independence isn't true independence. They over 280 years ago they had their independence, but we've had our independence over 1400 years ago.
فنحن استقلنا من لدن 1438 استقلالا كاملا، ناجحين في الدنيا والآخرة، ناجحين قطعا في الدنيا والآخرة.
He says that we've gained our independence over 1400 years ago, gaining both the dunya and being successful in the dunya and in the next life.
ففرق كبير بيننا وبينهم، فرق كبير بيننا وبينهم.
So he says there's a a clear contrast, a difference, a clear difference between us and them.
وقد أكمل الله ديننا في شهر ذي الحجة يوم عرفة، حيث قال سبحانه جل جلاله: اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت عليكم نعمتي ورضيت لكم الإسلام دينا.
So he said Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has completed this favor, this religion in the month of Dhul Hijjah, in which on the day of Arafah, in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that I have he says that today I have completed your religion, and I've perfected my blessing upon you, and Islam is I am pleased with Islam as your religion.
هذا من رب العالمين مقام عالي. أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت عليكم نعمتي ورضيت لكم الإسلام دينا. أيرضى الله شيئا ساقطا؟
So he said this. Here this is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Here he's saying that I've completed your religion and perfected my blessing upon you, and I am happy, or I'm pleased with Islam as your religion.
أيرضى الله شيئا بسيطا؟
Does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala pleased with something which is insignificant?
هذا لا يعقله مسلم، لكنه كره إلينا الكفر والفسوق والعصيان. أيبغض الله شيئا غير خطير؟
He says that does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, does he love something, or is he pleased with something that which is like dangerous or not beneficial for you?
فالمسلمون لا يعلمون مقامهم حقيقة.
He says in reality, Allah, the Muslims do not know its station, its true station, meaning that of Islam.
سمع رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وصحبه وسلم رجلا يقول: الحمد لله على نعمة الإيمان وكفى بها نعمة، على نعمة الإسلام وكفى بها نعمة. فقال: إنك لتحمد الله على خير كثير. الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم سمع رجلا يقول.
So he says that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam heard a man say,
الحمد لله على نعمة الإسلام وكفى بها نعمة.
He said, Alhamdulillah, we don't need to translate that. Alhamdulillah, for the blessing, the ni'mah of belief, and that suffices as a blessing.
قال إنك لا تحمد الله على خير كثير.
He says you haven't truly praised. He says indeed you haven't truly praised Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or you gave him true hamd.
إنك لا تحمد الله على خير كثير.
He says
يعني لقد حمدت الله على خير كثير.
That he said indeed you've
إنك قال إنك.
Oh, I messed up. He said indeed, by saying that what he said that indeed you have praised Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on a great good.
فيا إخواني وأخواتي صححوا إسلامكم وإيمانكم وإحسانكم بالعلم النافع الموافق لسنة رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم.
He says that. So therefore, I say that you should rectify your Islam, meaning the Sharia. Then you should, as well as your iman and your faith and your ihsan and your spiritual practice.
وأقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم. اللهم آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا